Hi, everyone. Good morning on this Friday. I wanted to slow things down today and work more mobility and just kind of share with you the importance of something like that. Mobility is really your ability to move, your range of motion with your joints, okay? And when we have limited mobility, it's going to affect the quality of your movements, your squat, your deadlift, your lunging. It affects everything. So I wanted to really just challenge things this morning. And I'll tell you what, while I'm talking, get your mat. If you're on carpeting, great, you're gonna need it. If you have a pillow, if your knee bothers you, on your flooring, like I've got the, plywood under the carpet, grab a pillow, just have it all handy so that you can grab what you need when we start really kind of going through some of this stuff. Now, I'm going to warn you, some of this is going to be challenging. Your body may have never been put into this kind of a position, and you might make some ugly faces, but the cool part about that is you are in the comfort of your own home and nobody's got to see you, right? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start down on the mat. A lot of our stuff is actually going to be down there. And then I'm going to, hopefully I have enough time. I have a lot in here today. If I go long, I'm just going to go long, and you can stick to stay with me or not. All right, so the first thing that we are going to do is a really simple piriformis stretch. So I'm going to have you guys lay on your backs, all right? And then we're going to take one leg, we're going to cross it across the body. And all I want you to do is really just kind of go back and forth in that range of motion, kind of working a little internal, external rotation of the hip. You can relax your head down. I just kind of want to keep my eyes on you guys. You can also use the hand and sort of push the end range of motion. If you want to increase, that stretch, I encourage you to bring that leg up, and now you're going to have even more of a stretch. That piriformis is a really deep hip external rotator, kind of lies right above that sciatic. So we want to work this nice and easy back and forth. Now let's switch that. So again, if you need to, you can have the leg down. If you've got pretty good range here and you're like, oh, I'm not feeling too much, you're going to elevate and you're going to work it this way. Okay, so we're just moving that hip internally and externally. Just nice and easy. Let's do a few more because we got a lot to cover today. Good. All right, so let's relax down. Let's roll that up. We're going to get into a butterfly stretch. Now, I want to show you from the side what's going to happen here. So you want to bring your feet together. You just kind of let your knees sort of fall to the side. You might find that some of you are like way up here. You're like, why won't my legs go down? Well, you've got some limitations in those hips, and it's going to take some time to work through it, but you just got to have to dedicate the time. So we're going to rock. We're going to drop our knees as far down as we're able to. And now I want you to sit up tall. So you want to think somebody's got like a string top of my head. They're yanking me up. And then what I'm going to have you guys doing is you're going to dip. You're going to kind of lead. Think belly button, leading forward as you push those hips down. And then you're going to rock it back. So I'm going to belly button forward and then rock it back. Now, as I come belly button forward, I'm trying to push those knees down. And again, you guys might be here. This might be your range of motion. That's fine, right? Just work that. And every time you're kind of practicing and working to get those hips a little bit further and further down, okay? So we're just doing really simple rocks. I want you to picture your pelvis like a bowl, okay? So as I bring the hips forward, I'm spilling the bowl forward. As I kind of rock back a little bit, I'm getting maybe a little bit more into neutral or a backward spill. Okay, so neutral and then spill forward and then backward. So you're just going to go forward and back as you're driving those knees down. Okay, we're going to do a few more. Let's say 5. Every time you sit up, you're looking to get tall, not hyperextending the lumbar. Just get tall. Crown of the head to the ceiling. 2 more, you guys. Belly button forward. And 1 more. Awesome. All right, so we're going to get into that half kneeling position that so many of you are familiar with at this point. What I want you guys to do is let's relax that back toe today. So wherever that lines up for you, so if it kind of slightly rotates in, that's fine. But I want to put you into this half kneeling position. And then what you want to focus on here is everyone could probably easily get down and just do some kind of hip flexor stretch. And we do that. And I'll incorporate that when we get to the runner's lunge part. But what I want you to do here is picture your bowl, right? And I'm going to tuck. So almost like spilling it backwards until I feel that glute. Once I feel that glute, then I'm going to come forward. You can rest on the opposite knee, but don't lose that glute tension, because when you do, you lose that huge stretch that you're going to get through the front of the hip, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to hold, and then we're going to come back to that neutral position. Notice I'm at a 90 degrees, right? So I'm going to tuck. I'm going to push forward. I can rest here if that is more comfortable for you. All right, I don't want you to get into this, trying to get there. You want to stay neutral through the spine, and then come on back. Tuck, feel the glute. Push forward, your range of motion. Maybe you're here. Maybe you're here and you're like, oh my gosh, my quad, my hips are on fire. They might be. Chill, hang out, breathe there. All right, this is the way we're going to get you to loosen up a little bit. All right, pull back. We're going to do that again. Tuck, feel the glute, come forward. And one more. And then I'm going to do the other side, and we're going to come back to this. But I want to get that hold while you're focusing on that glute tension. All right, so we're going to switch directions. Like I said, you can let that back toe just relax. 90 degrees. Tuck the pelvis. Got to feel that tush, guys. And then you're going to push forward. And that's about my range of motion until I start to feel really good stretch, okay? Now, if you're able to go, guaranteed, you might have glute amnesia, as I like to call it. So your glutes have no clue how to light up. So you're tucking, pelvic tilt, you're squeezing that tush, or glute. I say tush like kids, right? And then come forward. I've been living with kids for what, how many weeks now? 6, 7 weeks? All right, and then come on back. So glute tight, come forward, stay tall, and then come on back. Let's do that 2 more times. You might find that every time you move forward, you can gain a little bit of range of motion on that, which is great. But keep glute tension the whole time, you guys. All right, I'm going to flip you back around. Now, what I want you to do is we're going to get that same glute tension. We're going to push our body weight forward, and we're going to reach. All right, so I'll turn like that. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so foot is relaxed on the back side. Take some of that pressure off that knee joint. Tuck the pelvis, so you got glute on. Get to this point, I want you to rest on this leg, and I want you to reach. Almost like you're trying to reach your fingertips away from here. Lengthen, right? And come back. Let's do that again. Tuck the pelvis, glute tight. Reach. Exhale through that. And come back. Good. Come forward. Inhale, and then exhale as you reach. And at the same time, what I'm doing is I'm coming forward and I'm reaching. I'm really pushing this hip forward. Let's do that one more time. Tuck, push, reach. You got it. Good. Now, what I'm going to have you guys do is I want you to stay right here. I want you to put that hand on the inside of that foot. We're going to do a little thoracic, okay? As we do that hip mobility, I'm going to reach all the way through. And then I'm going to exhale and reach all the way up to the ceiling, create a T, my body, straight line. I'm going to come under, inhale, and then exhale as I come up. If you cannot get into this rotation, I need you to drive the elbow back. So you're coming under, and then you're going to drive the elbow around as if you're trying to put that elbow in your back pocket. I got a lot to get in, so might take us long, but I'll tell you what, you take some time to work things like this, it will free up movement for you. You just got to be consistent, okay? Because if you don't have the consistency, just like anything else, if we don't practice it, how are we going to get better? All right, so we're back on this side. I'm going to tuck that pelvis, push my body weight forward. I can rest down, and then I'm going to reach. Reach as you exhale it. And then I'm going to come back to that start position. Inhale, tuck the pelvis, glute tight. Exhale, and really reaching as far away as I can. Try not to get too much lateral, motion in the reach. Okay, tuck pelvis, come forward and reach. So what I don't want to do, I'll show you more this way, probably be better. Okay, so as I come forward, right, tuck the pelvis, glute tight, I rest, and then I reach, right? I'm getting really, 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 really long. I'm not going too much with that lateral rotation, okay? Come forward, glute tight, and reach, get long. Push that hip, push that hip, push that hip. One more. Exhale it out. You really push these things to the limit. You're going to feel your body sort of quivering, shaking. That's cool. Take it to a limit it's never really been before. All right, so that hand is down on the inside of the foot. I forgot to mention in step one, if you don't have the ability to get your palm flat on the ground, you got to elevate with something. Get a couple books, use your pillow or whatever the heck you have, or your mat, roll it up. All right, so take this free arm. I'm going to reach it under. Inhale as I come under. Exhale and reach all the way up. And again, if you're having a hard time, if you're having a hard time with this, right, that vertical position, you are sinking the elbow back towards that hip. So I'm going to inhale as I push through, come around, drive the elbow around, and sink the shoulder down, okay? Inhale, exhale, and rotate. Let's do two more here. Good. All right, now we're going to open those hips up. Good morning, Jen, Louise, Frankie. Hi, guys. Thanks for coming in. All right, so open hip. What we're going to do here is, so basically you need your foot in line with your knee. We're going to put our hands on the ground, and we are going to work kind of driving down and using this free hand to kind of keep that knee out. So let's see, maybe this way. All right, so I'm in that open hip position, hand is down. So as I push forward, right, I'm kind of driving that knee so it doesn't fall inward. And that's very common. You'll see that a lot. So people will come here in that knee because they're just tight. It's limited mobility, right? So I'm going to work to keep that hip out. Now, you're challenging that range this direction. So you're going to work to go as far down as you're able to go. But look, that heel does not leave the ground. That heel is flat, and then it'll come back to neutral. All right, so I'm going to exhale. In the end, inhale as I start. Exhale as I push. And every time I come forward, I'm challenging that end range a little bit. Please do not move through like pain, that pain where you're like, oh, we don't need that, all right? There's a difference between that kind of muscular work, stretch, feel good, to pain, okay? Let's switch that to the other side. We're down, hand is on the opposite knee, and I'm gonna push forward. I'm gonna challenge that end range, which as you can see, is additionally working ankle mobility, which we also need. There's a lot of joints in the body, kids. And I'll tell you, it's just the reason people get so tight. One of the biggest contributors of tight hips, low back issues is sitting. Sitting is like, I talk to my 9-to-5ers, and I'm like, you have become an Olympic sitter. Your body has gotten so good at that you just get so tight, you become the best sitter in the world. So you have to sort of counteract that with a lot of this stuff. Because if you consider how much time you're in a chair, it's how much time you might be spending doing something like this, right? Where do we balance that out? Okay, We're going to do that runner's lunge. So the way that I'm going to do this is start you in a kind of a push-up plank position. You're going to bring one leg around. Try to get that heel flat, and then let's take that free arm and rotate. And then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you come down. I want you to drop that back knee, drop the toe, and kind of push with that same glute that we're waking up from amnesia, okay? And then we're going to tuck the back toe. I'm going to lift. I'm going to pull back and switch. So that heel's on the ground. My hips are down. I'm going to rotate and reach. I'm going to come down. I'm going to drop the back knee. Relax the foot. Push with that glute. Wake that glute up. I'm talking about this one, of the knee down. Okay? Now tuck the back toe. Lift. Switch. Bring the leg around. Take that hand, reach up, big rotation. You can still do that elbow rotation if that's better for you. Back down, drop the back knee, drop the toe. Push, stay long, and drive that hip down towards the floor. Good, tuck the back toe, lift. Bring it back around, one more on this side. We're here, rotate and reach. Good, bring the hand down, drop the back knee, drop the toe, and push. Stay long. Open it up, you guys. Awesome. Now, we're going to move into the straddle stretch. All right. This is going to be a fun one. Some of you might be making these faces during this straddle stretch, but enjoy it. All right. So here's what it is. You're wide. As wide as you are able to go without, if I can show you from the side, you want to be careful of this. You're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I can't get there. Well, you know what? Maybe you're not able to get there. Let's lean you back and lengthen. So maybe you need to put your hands behind you to work through this drill. I'm going to show you the drill without my hands behind. So I'm going to get my feet out as far wide as I'm able to. And I'll show you from the front and then I'll show you from the side. As far as I'm able to without being like here or completely like that rounded back position. So we're out wide. Remember that pelvis I talked about with a bowl. We're going to do a little bit of rocking where you're going to feel like you're kind of rolling the pelvis forward, and then let's bring it back to neutral. It's so subtle. It's such a tiny little movement, but I'm going to add to it. So just bear with me. All right. So try not to be toes pointed. I want you guys to have your toes up. So I'm going to take the belly button. I'm going to feel like I'm pushing it forward, and then I'm going to roll it right back to a nice seated position. If your hands are behind, you're going to have a small hip rotation, right? So I'm going to lean belly button forward and then come back to center. Belly button forward. I'm kind of folding at the hip. Eventually, I'm going to start to go a little bit further, and to show you what that looks like from the side, I'm here, right? I'm sitting up tall. Let me scooch. There we go. Sit up tall. And then what I do is I kind of fold and lead my belly button forward. And then I'm coming back up here. Legs are straight the whole time. I'm going to fold and then come up. You want to be careful that the fold doesn't look like this. Here's my fold. Nope. Then what you need to do is you need to stay in this position. So for those of you that cannot get straight in that straddle, you're going to be leaning back a little bit. You're going to get your spine long, and you're just going to work on driving those heels away, and then you're going to relax. So you're going to drive the heels away. You're going to get really long in the spine, and then you're going to relax. So just have that as your motion. And also see that. So as I, drive my heels away and I lengthen spine, how my shoulders kind of retract and depress. What does retract mean? Pull back and then go down, right? So retract, depress, and then relax. All right, for the rest of you, stay with me. We hang out in the straddle. You're going to roll. You're going to go as far down as you can, maintaining a neutral spine. You ready? Let's take a deep breath in. Let's exhale. You can get your elbows to the floor. Excellent. It's kind of like a hip hinge or a deadlift, isn't it? I'm kind of pushing my hips back. Belly button's coming down. Spine stays neutral. And then I come up. Let's do a few more. Elbows to floor if you can do it. If you cannot, you can walk. Walk out. Maybe this is where you are. And then walk back. You can keep working further and further and further. And my feet are going nuts down at that tail end, because my legs, my hips are like, what are you trying to do to me, right? But that's where we want to gain that range. And then the breathing comes into play. And I'm sorry I'm wordy, but this will help you. That's where the breathing comes into play. If you start to stress out, you're like, oh my God, your shoulders lift, your breathing changes, your body looks as though you are under stress, which you are. But can I get there and breathe, control, and rewire that and tell the body, hey, dude, you're fine. Relax. You're okay. All right. So that's part of this work here. I'm going to do one more of that walkout. Sorry I'm keeping you here for a while, but man, you'll feel it. Okay. And then come on back. Now, to bail out of this, the safest way, because sometimes you'll gain range of motion and your legs have no idea how to work. Lean back a little bit and slide out. So you come together. Okay. All right. Now, one where again, I might see some faces like, what? We are going to do what's called the frog stretch. Hi guys, thanks for coming in. What's up, Sue? Hey gang. All right, so we're going to do what's called the frog stretch. So you're going to bring your knees wider than your hips. Let me get more squared up to the camera maybe so you can see this. Knees are wider than the hip. Feet are flat, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to rock back and forth, and you're only going to go through your range of motion. Okay, rocking back and forth. You want your foot, what's the best way to show you this? You don't want your feet in here. Then your hips are probably going to reach your heels. To work on that mobility, my foot is pretty even with my knee. It's in a straight line. And then I'm going to go forward and back. I'm going to inhale as I'm back. Exhale as I'm up. Inhale. And exhale. I want to show you that from the side so you can see that we're working to keep that back neutral. I want you to keep working this. So hips come back and notice my range. I'm not going very far. Some of you might be here and you go, what the heck? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Wherever you are, right? Inhale and exhale up. It feels a lot in those hips, people. Good. And now what I want you to do is you're going to come down to the elbows. You're going to do the same thing. We're going to inhale it back and exhale it forward to neutral. Inhale it back. You want to watch that you don't start getting into like this at the back end. It's sort of defeating the purpose. We want to try to maintain neutral spine and then back to center. Inhale back and then back to center. Good. Let's keep going. Now, I know I've got a lot on here today. I really wanted to pull in a variety of drills just to really demonstrate there's so much to do that you can do, but you shouldn't make it overwhelming. What you might want to do is maybe you pick 3 of the drills from today and make it a daily practice, okay? All right, now to bail out of this safely, now we'll bring our feet together. Now we'll bring ourselves back up and bring those knees in, okay? Make this a daily practice. Pick 3 things. If 3 things overwhelms you, pick 2. If 2 is like no friggin' way, pick 1. That's it. We can do 1. All right, quad. So we're going to do what I call a rocking pattern with one leg out so that we get the inside. So you're going to start in a hand and knee position. I find the safest way to get the leg there is to pivot. So I pivot the knee and then I bring that leg up. Okay, so we're in a neutral back. My toe on the backside is tucked under. All right, from here, I'm going to pull my hips all the way back. As I come forward, I want to make sure, I got to show you this way so you can see it. Hopefully you can see that through the spine. So here's my lateral foot. Back is neutral. So I pull my hips back, inhaling. As I come forward, you don't want to get arched through the back. You got to sort of keep that pelvic tuck, okay, so that you keep those abdominals engaged when you come back up to neutral position. All right, so let's keep moving through here. Inhale back, exhale forward. And like I said, today is just a hip mobility, movement flow. Your body needs it. It will thank you for it. One more here. Good. And then to bail out, safe, drop the knee down. You can corkscrew the body. I just find that much safer for people that have back issues. All right, so Or you can start here and come down. But so you're here, hand and knee position, pivot that leg out, open that leg up. You're in neutral spine. We're going to inhale as we pull back and then exhale forward. Stay tension through that core, that midsection, as you bring your body weight forward, okay? Inhaling back, exhaling forward, inhaling back, and exhaling forward. And really pay attention because most of us have a, what we would call a strong and a less strong side, right? You might feel more stable on one side versus the other side. You might have more range of motion on one side versus another side. So things like this help to iron that out, because the more balanced we are, the safer we are when we're working our strength training, okay? All right, let's do one more, because I could talk all day about this stuff. All right, okay, so we're gonna do a drill, and this may not be for everybody, but let's just try this together. I'm gonna demonstrate it probably from both directions so that you can see what's going on here. But we're gonna go from a bent knee, kind of like a crab, but it's like a bridge. So your feet will be flat. So how about I show you this way first? All right, so your knees are hip width. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop my hips down, bring my hands back, and push. Now, if there's any time you should feel some glute and an opening of the hips and the quads is there, okay? No lumbar. Don't gain this range of motion from your back, all right? Now, let me show you this, this combination here. All right, so my toes are relaxed. Pull my hips down, hands come back, push. I'm exhaling. I come back to this position. I bring it forward. I tuck my toes, and I go into downward dog. And I come back, knees down, toes tucked, hands back, push. Now the shoulders you want to kind of retract and down, all right? Retract and down to the shoulders. Come forward, hands drop, toes tuck, I lift, and I push. I try to flatten my heels out, and I push sort of my chest through. Drop, toes down, feel the glutes tight. Good, come back. We're only going to do 5 of these. Let's count that as number 3. These are slow and controlled. Glutes as tight as you can make them. Nice pause there. 1 to 2 second pause. Toes tucked. Come up. Push through. All right, last one, gang. Drop the toes. Hands come back. Push. Glutes tight, tight, tight. You'll feel nice open through those quadriceps and the hips. Come up, now you'll get those hamstrings. Drop those heels down. Push and drive that chest through. Good, and then bring it back down to the floor. Excellent. All right, now, this next one is a lateral movement where if some of you can get into the Cossack position, then I encourage you to do so. So here's what we're going to do. All right, grab some water. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. Grab some water if you want it. We still have quite a bit to go. I'm going to keep going. Hopefully you stay with me because we're going to do some application and some movement flow. All right, so next, lateral to Cossack. Feet wide. Like I said in the very beginning, some of you might get into these positions and go, my body does not know how to do that. Okay, that's your starting point. So now you're going to practice and practice and practice. If this is something that's important to you, if you want to have good mobility for your strength training, make the time, guys. We've got it. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go laterally. So I'm going to shift my hips laterally. I'm going to get my hands down on the floor. Now, for some of you, this might be it, right? And you're going to be working that knee out. For others, you're going to be able to drop those hips down. I do want you to rotate that toe up. Eventually, you can get into foot down. We're not going to do that. I want you to rotate that foot up. This heel is on the ground, okay? For those of you that can. For the rest of you, you're here, right? And you're pushing that knee out. And then I'm going to walk it over to the other side. If you're here, that's fine. You stay there. Otherwise, I want you down. If you need your hand behind for balance, let's say you feel like you're going to fall backwards, get the hand behind. That heel is on the ground. You are not collapsing. You're prying that hip out, and then you're going to bring it back up lift those hips and walk. So either here, drop. I'm holding an active position. If you really want to work some thoracic, you can get here, you can get really long. My hands come down, I lift my hips up, and I walk around. Drop down, open up, lengthen and reach. You can even do that, you guys, in that half position, so I'll show that to you. So as you come around and you're here, you can reach, you can practice a little thoracic stuff if you want. We're gonna come down, we're gonna stay nice and long. Reach if you want a little thoracic, just don't overextend. Hands come down, body weight forward. One more on this side. We're down, I rotate up. Good, I'm gonna reach and staying relaxed. Don't get stressed out. Tell your body you are in complete control. You are just fine, body. All right, come on down, come up and walk it back to center. Walk those feet in and then bring it up. Nice and easy. Okay, so hips should be feeling pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go through a couple of movements with you. I say a couple, I got more than a couple, but hopefully you stick with me and you get some benefit from this today. All right, so we're gonna begin with a nice goblet squat. Let's see how that feels for everybody. Now that you've opened up those hips and you've done a lot of stuff. So if you wanna load it, go ahead and load it. Sometimes I don't recommend that because you might have increased mobility. And let's say, this is an education, kids. All right, so let's say you've got, your hip mobility was here when you started. Now you're here. Your body doesn't quite understand how to stabilize between those 2 points yet. So I don't necessarily recommend going crazy heavy on load. I'd rather you just body weight it, all right? So feet in a good squat position. Hands will reach out in front of us. We'll inhale down to the range we're able to go, keeping those heels on the floor, and then we're gonna come all the way up. Whatever your range is, but your heels are down, your hips are back, you're breathing in, and then we're exhaling up. Inhale down, exhale up. We'll do 10. Inhale down, exhale up. So what I'm doing is, as I pull, I'm kind of prying my femurs out, so it's creating space for my pelvis to drop. Inhale down, exhale up. The reaching of the arms is okay, as long as when you're coming down, you're not like this. You want to stay long in the spine as you're moving, right? So inhale, reach, and up. Let's do 2 more. Prying those hips out, kind of enjoying that newfound range or motion, mobility, and come up. Good. Now, we're going to do a good morning with a reach. So with the good morning and the reach, I'll show you from the side. The good morning, I'm going to have you do just like a slight knee bend. I'm not going to be completely locked here. I'm going to do a very slight knee bend. And please be very mindful of your range of motion if you have any any sciatic stuff. Because if you're still tight in the pelvis, it's going to yank on that sciatic. So what we're going to do is, as we reach forward, see the slight knee bend, my hips, notice my hips go back, and then I'm going to reach thumbs up, and then I'm going to come together, I'm going to pinch between the shoulder blades. As I pinch between the shoulder blades, squeeze and glute. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, tight, inhale, exhale. Should feel a lot of glute and hamstring, you guys. Hopefully those glutes are waking up for you. Let's do 4 more. And each and every time I'm kind of challenging that range of motion on the back side. I'm like, how far can I push my hips and my tailbone away from my fingertips? 1 more. Good. All right, we're going to do what I call the quad sweep. You're going to start a hand and knee position. Many of you have a hard time with this. It's okay. If you have a difficult time, just bear with me, do what you can. You're in a hand and knee position. You're going to start with your knees slightly elevated. Let me see. How about I do this way first to show you? So my knees are slightly elevated, and then I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to sweep my opposite leg through. For today, sit. You can also do this without planting those hips down, but for today, let's sit. You sit up tall, and I'm going to bring it right back. to my start, and I'm going to go the other side. Reach and tall. Now, for those of you that know kettlebell and get up, where am I? What did we do last week? Do you remember? Right? You're in that get up position, okay? But we're just going to work that sweep. I'm going to make sure as I'm working my sweep that I don't get wear. Like this, your shoulder hates it. So I need to push the floor away. It lengthens me. Hopefully, with all that mobility work, you don't feel as restricted as you might have had you started with this movement first thing. So let's do a few more. Sit tall, shoulders down away from your ears. Let's do one more. Yes, good. All right. We're doing a deadlift to squat, elbow knee. I might get some ugly faces on this one, as I mentioned before. The body will be like, what? All right, so what we're gonna do is this. I'll show you from the side first. You're gonna deadlift first. My hands are gonna come straight down. So I'm deadlifting until my elbows reach my knees, not my thighs. I'm not back here. You're at my knees. Bring your hands together. You can fist, you can pray about it, and then you're gonna work to drop your hips down. Some of you might be here. Hey, wherever you're at, that's fine. You might need to stay right there, okay? Good. So if you're here, excellent. And then you're gonna lift, hands are to the floor, and up. Now when you're here, because those hip flexors are so tight at the bottom, you're gonna wanna squeeze your butt to open it up in the front. They're gonna be real tight. Okay, so here we go. Follow along. You ready? Inhale, elbows to knees, hands together, drop, wherever you can drop. But here's the rule. Your heels have to stay planted. All right, hips up, hands down, bail out safely. Shake, glutes tight. Here we go. Deadlift, elbows to knees, hands together. Pull, 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 pull. Staying long in the spine. Good, hands are down, hips up, safely bail, glutes tight. If you need to shake those legs out, they're getting tense, do it. Here we go, pull, elbows between, hands together. Pry those knees out as you drop. Wonderful, good, hands to the floor, hips are up, and bail out. Two more, y'all. It's all right, if you've got the face of like, oh, that's cool, keep it. You are home alone. Only your family will judge. All right, here we go. Hands to the floor, hips up, and bail. Glutes tight. Open up those hip flexors. Here we go. Down and deadlift. Elbows to knees, hands together. Pull those hips as far down as you're able to get them. Good. Hands are coming down, my hips come up, and I bail out. Good. I've got two more, and then we're going to call it because I am going long today. So remember that post position of the get up. I practiced this last week. If you want a little bit more instruction, just go to last week's video. I don't know what date that was. I think April 24th. So what I want you to do is I want you to get one leg extended, one leg out. I want you to rest on that extended leg, the butt cheek. So it's the same position we just finished in the quad, right? What we're going to do is we're going to do a bridge. So I'm going to push. I'm going to drive my hips up. I'm going to feel, hopefully that glute is awake, okay? I'm going to pull. Inhale here, exhale. Let's see that you've got control at the top. Notice how I'm straight. If you're out here, right, you're pushing your body weight that way. And what we want to do is drive up, body weights over the hand, and pull down. Let's just do one more here so I can cut you short on time. You can practice this stuff on your own. Hand out, arm up, leg extended. I hope by now you don't have a bent knee. You have a little more mobility here. Arm is up, my eyes are on my hand, okay? Don't chill at the beach, y'all. Strong, here we go. Push the hips up, and then pull down. That never comes up, this shoulder never comes by my ear. Those of you that have worked with me before, what is that expression? Your ears and your shoulders are not friends. They don't like to hang out with each other, right? This, not good. Okay, one more. All right, and we are gonna finish on your crab bridge. This will be our last and final of the day. So a little different than the kneeling bridge that we did. You're gonna do a quad position. So you're gonna have hands and knees, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna drive those hips up, and at the same time, what am I not doing? I'm not chilling the shoulders. I'm kind of retracting the shoulders, depressing them down as I drive those hips up. And let's do 8 repetitions, 3. I hope you found a new motion that you didn't have before. I hope that you feel looser. If you guys suffer from any tightness back stuff, I hope that feels better for you today. Let's do 2 more. Inhale here, exhale up. You get a lot of trunk stability here too, gang. This is a good one. Okay, good. Come on down. All right, listen. For those of you that stuck with me today, I appreciate it. So just to reiterate, mobility. What is mobility, man? It is foundation. Spend some time, slow it down. I promise you, if you stay consistent with this type of work, your strength training program will completely excel. It's going to help to hopefully minimize any risk of injury, but just stay consistent. I'm available. Message me if you've got questions. I'm happy to help. I miss you guys. But in the meantime, stay well, be safe, and be strong, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, you guys.